This episode is brought to you by Quince. Quince has lightweight European linen styles from $30, washable silk tops, and comfy lounge sets.
For your next trip, treat yourself to the luxe upgrades you deserve from Quince. Go to quince.com/wildest for a 365-day return plus free shipping on your order. That's QUINCE.com/wildest to get free shipping and 365-day return. Quince.com/wildest. Thanks so much for sponsoring this episode.
Welcome to World's Wildest.
Hello.
I said the intro a little weird because this is going to be a weird one.
I'm excited.
And we're sitting kind of weird, you might notice, audio listeners, very keen of you. We are facing each other, and we don't have our laptops today.
Yeah.
Why, Connor?
Because I got so cooked in the debate last time that we're changing formats here. And we're doing a what if, like, thought experiment.
Yeah.
That, which means I don't have to debate you.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah, we won't be debating. But we have it. This is a new idea, everybody. It's an experiment, okay? You let us know what you think about it. And if you think that it's fun and we can do it more often. This is the first episode we've done without, like, we did research. We both did research, but, like, we don't have notes.
I don't have, like, pictures because they're all, like, it's all what if stuff.
I have some, but, like, we don't even need them. We're just going to be yapping this episode.
I'm excited.
Let us know what you think.
I've already yapped for, like, 3 or 4 hours on this. Like, there's way
I've
more
talked to a
that
couple
can go
people too.
Yeah.
Make sure to check us out on Patreon if you haven't already. We have extra content on there. And like and subscribe. And if you got this far in the podcast, leave a smiley face in the comments. If there aren't so many smiley faces in the comments, I'm going to be so sad.
Every time you do that, there's so many.
Hooray! Thank you. Love to see them. Okay, so Connor, tell us where this idea came from.
So I ran across Hank Green's smaller of his YouTube channels called Complexly, which is like the company behind all of YouTube stuff.
By the way, huge Hank Green fans, both of us.
Amazing.
What a guy.
Like, I want to be him when I grow up.
Me too. Without the man part.
Oh.
Peace and love.
So he was talking with Good Mythical Morning, Rhett and Link.
Love them also.
About just what if humans had the reproductive tracks and like the reproductive techniques that like chickens do. So laying eggs instead of giving live birth.
Yeah.
And they went down a rabbit hole for like 2 or 3 minutes. And Hank seemed like he wanted to talk way more.
I was going to say, yeah, he did. And 2 or 3 minutes to talk about a hypothetical like that is simply not enough time.
Right.
We need 40 minimum.
Yep. It was so cool to think about how society would change.
Yeah.
How a lot of issues nowadays would also change, give us other issues, but it'd be different. And it's like kind of like our first time, not necessarily React content, but expanding on someone else's work.
Who better though?
Hank's, it was crazy cool. So we meet Hank Green one day. Maybe he'll want to like nerd out on this subject a bit more.
Hank Green, come on the podcast.
Please.
It'd be sick.
I would die.
Why are we qualified to talk about this, Connor? I'll go first. I am a woman.
Oh.
And I know some stuff about female reproductive anatomy. And you like birds.
Yep. I'm a bird nerd.
Explain your shirt.
Oh yeah, I got a bird nerd. Window to Wildlife merch I just launched. I'm not trying to plug it.
I'm trying to get you to plug it.
Okay. Window to Wildlife merch. Windowtowildlife.org. You can get bird nerd merch. We got bald eagle dressed up as an explorer. We've got an osprey here that's dressed up with a bow tie and spectacles as like a nerdy explorer. And then we have a red-tailed hawk dressed up as a different type of bird nerd explorer.
The osprey is my favorite one. Window to Wildlife, if you guys don't know, is Connor's conservation technology company. He puts cameras on wild birds so you can watch them. It's like Big Brother reality TV, except nature and not problematic.
And there's a lot of egg stuff, like everything's centered around like the babies and the eggs, because that's when we get to see them the most.
Right.
So I've spent a lot of time and looking at all the research. Yeah, looking at the eggs, talking about the eggs, researching the eggs, building my own model of egg where I had to break out of it with a spoon in my mouth.
What are you talking about?
At American Eagle Foundation, I did a live stream.
You had to make yourself an egg?
Yeah, we made a temporary egg
Out of what? Paper mache?
There was a lot of cardboard. We did we looked at pressure studies and like force studies to see how much roughly cardboard and tape we needed to do to replicate the inside of an egg. So in an egg, you have like a little membrane.
Yeah.
And then on the outside, you have that hard shell. So
Yeah.
the chicks have to break through both of them. So we did like on the membrane, we did like a plastic. And then on the outside, we did a cardboard box with like tape on it.
Okay.
It was awful. And I just had a spoon.
Did you make it?
Yeah. It took me forever. And it was really tough. But I put a metal spoon in my mouth as like the egg tooth.
Holding on. You had to hold it with your teeth?
I mean, I was using my lips.
I don't like that.
Because like the plastic one broke. So
I could not have a metal spoon touching my teeth like that. Freaks me out. Freaks me out.
I had to. That's all I could use to get through. It took me like they were just like doing a whole segment, like an educational segment, for like an hour and a half while I tried to dig through. And there's like a little GoPro with a light camera.
That's so
me hitting it.
So you weren't even talking.
No. It was.
So
I mean, they can hear me breathing.
Right. Okay. So
anyway.
All right. So this episode is about a what if, is a hypothetical, is what if humans laid eggs? What implications would that have on us as a society, from a reproduction standpoint, as women, as men, as childcare providers, et cetera, et cetera?
Technology.
Do you want to start with like setting some ground rules, some basics?
Yeah. So I would say that we're not talking like fish eggs. We're talking like chickens, but we're talking like the wild chickens. So like not a ton of eggs. I would say 1 egg a month.
God. Okay. I agree. So 1 egg a month makes all right. Let's back up a little bit.
Okay.
Chickens. Domestic chickens. Here, actually, you guys want to hear a really messed up fact? The closest wild relative to domestic chickens is a red jungle fowl, right? It just looks like a chicken. In Asia, right? They look like this. They lay like a dozen-ish eggs a year. They have 2 breeding seasons, a dozen eggs a year.
Mm-hmm.
Done deal.
Yep.
Our commercial layers, we have artificially bred to lay an egg every single day.
Yep.
So instead of laying 12 eggs a year, they're laying like 360 to 400 eggs a year, which is nuts.
I think that'd be too much for our hypothetical.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I think that yours makes sense because human women, ovulate once a month.
Yep.
And we ovulate 1 egg a month. So in this situation, yes, let's go with we ovulate once a month, and that means we have to lay an egg once a month.
Yep.
The other thing that means, chickens, when they lay eggs every 24 hours, they lay the egg whether or not it's fertilized.
Yep.
Right? The eggs that we're eating from the grocery store are not fertilized eggs. There's not baby chicks in there.
Right.
Don't try to raise a baby chick out of a grocery store egg. You have to lay the egg regardless.
Right.
That sucks.
It does.
So once a month, we would have to lay an egg. How big is the egg?
So proportionally, it would be an ostrich-sized egg. It's actually not.
Bro,
that's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. So I looked up like the math and science behind it. It's about an ostrich.
What math? Eggs. Someone did math on this?
Yeah.
Or you looked at like how big a human baby is?
Like it was like, I don't know, it was like a week ago. I don't quite remember. But like there was like some proportional research. Like there was a lot of theories. It wasn't like a research paper. It was like, here's some smart people on these forums
who are guessing.
Yeah, like this is the math. Here's where we're taking the guesses from. Because this is hypothetical. It's not real. So I didn't feel like I needed to find a research article that doesn't exist for this. But they were like, yeah, about an ostrich-sized egg is about as small as it would go.
As small as it could be, right? Because a whole human baby has to fit in there.
Yeah.
Here's the problem with an egg. The egg doesn't grow. Once you lay it, that is as big as the egg gets.
So here's my other ground rule question. Once it comes out of the egg, is it the size of like a day-old newborn baby?
Or is it smaller?
Or is it bigger? And the next question would be, does it take 18 years before it leaves the nest?
I already think it's so frustrating how useless human babies are.
Yeah.
I don't think it could be smaller.
Okay. I would, if I were to set ground rules on this, I would say that it is just like it comes out like out of the womb, it's out of the egg.
Like it hatches instead of like
the only
everyone
difference
going and like it's a baby shower, like we have a hatching party.
Yeah.
And everybody waits around the egg. and then you watch a whole human baby come out.
Or do you help it? I mean, we'll get into that in a minute.
No, they have an egg tooth. Duh.
Okay.
They have a metal spoon in their mouth.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I agree. Okay, so I think it has to come out like a human baby would come out.
And then it's normal
if a human birthed it, then it's normal human lifespan.
Cool.
So the egg would have to be the size of a baby, smaller, like a baby could fit in there.
Yeah.
Full-grown baby would be hatching out of the egg, so it'd be like this.
How big do you think babies are?
Like this.
You can get.
If it's like crouched up in fetal.
You're looking like that.
Did I not? Are you gaslighting me? Audio listeners, he just did the exact same thing that I did.
No, you were doing like this.
Yeah, human babies are big.
Okay, what's the size of a human baby?
I don't know.
I think it was like 14. One. I thought you had one with Jason.
No, it was a lie.
Oh, okay. 14 inches?
I don't know.
Like the max length, but they can really ball up. I bet they could ball up to within like.
No, what is that? Human baby cannot get that small. 18.5 and 20.9 inches long.
But also, so when like eaglets are, we went to San Diego Zoo.
Yeah.
We got to candle the eggs of the California condors. I mean, once they get like ready to come out,
yeah,
there's not much space.
Yeah.
It's fully packed in there.
Yeah.
Okay, ostrich size egg or larger. Okay,
sure.
Depending on the person.
Sure. Which is
it's big.
Physiologically possible. I mean, women birth out whole babies.
Well, are we getting into the reproductive tract right now?
Sure.
Okay, because if you just have because we've got a.
Oh yeah, we have cloacas now.
Yeah.
Bad news or good news, depending on who you are, I guess.
All reproductive organs are gone. It is now a cloaca.
A cloaca is one hole for all.
Everything.
Poop, pee, boinking, and birthing.
Yep. All one hole.
Yeah.
So when you condense it down into an efficient system like that, you don't need you have more space to build that egg into. So I don't think our anatomies have to change that much.
Mm-hmm.
I will say Hank did bring up a cool point that there's no milk production needed.
Didn't think about that.
If we're going that route.
Oh yeah, we wouldn't have boobs anymore.
Yeah.
He did say that. I forgot he said that.
Or we could add him back in for this hypothetical if we're saying if the baby is.
That is the problem with the hypothetical is where do you draw the lines?
Yeah.
Is that true? Or would we have to nurse the human baby as it was born? Or are we starting to regurgitate now into babies' mouths where they're meh?
I feel like you don't have to regurgitate, you just do baby food. I think I'm fine with leaving that in.
Sorry for being ridiculous.
Yeah, that was crazy. But I think because there's no umbilical cord.
Yeah.
So
which is sick because those are gross.
Yeah.
I'll say it. It's nasty.
You don't want to put it in a tea and drink it after giving birth.
No, but speaking of which, chickens will eat their own eggs, right? Most people know that. Egg yolks are the most nutrient dense thing ever.
Oh, we're getting to that already.
Because you brought it up.
Sure.
You bring it up tea, drink it in tea. Egg yolks are enough to grow a whole baby inside the egg.
Right.
That's the point.
And
of
then
a yolk.
for a few days after too.
Yeah.
After
so super nutrient dense.
Yep.
Human eggs, a giant human egg yolk would be insanely, it'd be a superfood.
Yeah. Would
people eat it? I think if we're laying an unfertilized egg every month until menopause, that's a lot of eggs.
Yeah.
And what are we going to do with
humans
them?
Would. I think they would if it was a societal norm. Looking from our perspective now, I don't think we would. But if it's a societal norm that's part of the biology, yeah.
But then again, placentas are supposed to be really nutrient rich too, right? And there's a very niche group of people that will eat those.
Right.
Okay, well, if you think that we would, if we would eat human egg yolks, the egg yolk industry would go crazy. I mean, that would be that would be an occupation.
Well, the other
and also a really, really ugly black market, I'm afraid.
Yeah. And I feel it's a human part. I also feel we get into the realm of if you commoditize that, you're going to have genetically modified things coming in and wanting to have people that produce more than one egg a month and trying to commoditize
That's so messed up. I hate this hypothetical.
Okay. Well, I want to back up anyway.
Okay. This episode is brought to you by Quince. A month ago or something, Connor and I did this travel thing. We went to go film in California, and Connor was wearing some pants, and they were just a little short.
They're pretty short.
They were really short. We could see his ankles. Me and his wife were kind of making fun of him for his pants.
Yeah, maybe a little self-conscious, but thankfully we found Quince.
We found Quince. Now we have another traveling thing in a month from now where we're doing a speaking engagement, and Connor was able to get these pants.
They're nice.
And they actually fit him. Quince has lightweight European linen styles from $30, washable silk tops, lounge sets. They work in factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, and now Connor's ready for his next trip.
And for your next trip, treat yourself to a luxe upgrade you deserve from Quince. Go to quince.com/wildest for a 365-day return plus free shipping on your order. That's QUINCE.com/wildest to get free shipping and a 365-day return. Quince.com/wildest. I want to go chronologically because that's how my male brain works here.
Okay.
So chronologically, we've got to start at the anatomy. We discussed that a little bit, but what does that mean for like women today versus like a cloacal woman versus a woman today?
What do you mean?
Like
if we switched over today?
Do you have periods? No, right?
No.
Periods are gone.
Right.
Yay!
No, because you end up laying an egg once a month instead.
I feel like that's
period
easy.
is just you drop an egg, right? You release an egg.
Yeah.
You're ovulating. It attaches to your uterine lining. The egg is not fertilized. Your uterine lining sheds out. That's a period.
Yeah.
I would way rather slough off, if you will, uterine lining than a egg that's unfertilized that is an ostrich egg size once a month.
Really?
Connor, no offense, guys. I hate to say this online. I would end my life. If I had to do that once a month, no shot. That's birthing a baby every month.
I don't feel like it's not that. I don't feel like it's that hard. Oh my
God! Pause, everybody. Did you hear him say that? He just said it's not that hard.
Chickens do it all the time.
Okay, let's friggin' simulation. Let's do a simulation. Do a birthing simulation. We can get one of those stupid little things.
Why are we saying it's not like it's Connor, just gonna quick pop out like in an hour?
Quick pop out it's the size of an ostrich egg.
Yeah.
It is like birthing a baby in a hard shell.
But you have a cloaca though, which expands way quicker, way easier than a woman's parts.
I don't think it would be easy. I don't think it's easy for chickens either.
Or so if you can track it, if it's pretty accurate. Okay, granted periods are hard to track. If you can just take the day off, stay at home, pop it out for like maybe it takes like 10, 15 minutes. Like a chicken, when they're going into quote unquote what they call labor, it's like a 10, 20 minute ordeal max. So like, yeah, you just have to deal with 10, 20 minutes, and then you don't have to deal with the period for a whole week. Cramps and all this kind of stuff. Like I feel like that's way easier.
I think the pain would be insane.
I feel, well, if you're comparing it to your anatomy currently, but if you compare it to a cloacal anatomy, no, I feel like it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable, but bam, in 20 minutes, you're good. Bald eagles, like I'll see them go into labor. They'll hang around the nest for like maybe the day before they lay an egg.
Yeah.
And then they'll go into labor for like 30 minutes max. And then boop, they're done. And then they're off,
I don't want to do it, man. I don't want to do it. I think that people would find ways for us to just not have to do that.
Sure.
Like implants, birth control.
Well, we have implants now for chickens that keep that. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't think about that.
I would opt for an implant.
Yeah.
I don't want to lay the eggs.
Well, that takes, okay, it's not as chronological, but like if we have implants now that are doing that, then we're not going to have as big of an egg industry as we potentially thought.
So, or we have implants and people can opt in for implants and it makes you infertile. But then there's people that their career is to not have an implant and to supply the egg industry.
Oh God. Very chicken.
Black Mirror.
Yeah. Crazy.
And then they go, and make eggs and then.
But one egg could feed like 4 people.
Yeah, but not for that.
For a meal.
For a meal.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So we've established the track and kind of what it does. Now we got to get to the boinking. Like right. How does that work? I feel like there needs to be a lot of sanitary things that happen before you do that.
So for birds, boinking looks like rubbing hole to hole.
Yep.
And that's pretty much all. Except for some birds.
5 seconds.
Some birds, like ducks and ratites, have a it's not a true penis, but like a penis.
Right.
Like ducks have a corkscrew penis. I have both a picture and a video of one if you'd like them to see them.
You know, I've never actually seen.
You want to see this
it?
video? Guys, warning, if you don't want to see a duck penis evert, close your eyes. Audio listeners, you're safe. Check this out. It happens very quickly. Ducks have a corkscrew penis. Isn't that crazy?
That's wild.
I know.
Looks like a freaking tapeworm.
It spins out like if you coil a ribbon and then you let it go.
Oh, ejaculated. That was gross.
I warned you.
I didn't know I was gonna do that. Sorry, it comes out like a what?
Like if you held like a curled ribbon and then you let it go.
Yeah.
Like it like spirals out like that. Male ducks and female ducks have had this like sexual arms race.
Right.
Where female ducks have this corkscrew in the opposite threading.
Right.
And ducks have the corkscrew in the opposite threading so that they like attach to each other.
Right.
That's sick it's like developed out of forced copulation in ducks.
Right.
And the arms race is that female ducks have this opposite threading vagina so that they can like kind of decide who they're mating with. Yeah. And if they're really tense or they don't want to mate with that male, then their semen will remain closer to the cloaca. So they have lower odds of breeding. But if they want to breed with that male, then they'll let them like get all the way up in there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Anyway.
Okay.
So there are some birds where there is a penis.
Sure.
But also most birds are just rubbing hole to hole.
Right.
I think that in this scenario, I would assume we're rubbing hole to hole.
Yep.
Cloaca to cloaca.
Yeah. I don't feel. I mean, humans could probably have an arms race because they love that kind of stuff. But I don't. Yeah, I think it would be hole to hole. So that's a whole nother thing.
What are you concerned about with?
Okay, so that's like at that point, I'd like mating for birds isn't pleasurable. So is it still pleasurable for
You don't
people?
know that.
They don't do it just.
You don't know that. Well, that might be true. But you don't know that it's not pleasurable.
True. They
Maybe
just don't do it in
is.
the off season. I mean, they do it with the hormones, which I guess humans do that too.
No, parrots masturbate for sure.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about parrots. Yeah.
Yeah, parrots will masturbate.
Okay, it's pleasurable. So, it's are we talking like, is this like a 5-second ordeal like it is in nature, or do you think people are able to like make it into an event?
Oh, people would make it into an event.
Okay.
Like we're talking, this is what Hank and the Mythical Boys talked about. We're talking new categories of pornography. Many.
Yeah. That is true. They did say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is, I didn't think about that. Okay, so now there's a whole industry there. We need protection. That's a whole different level of protection.
Protection's a lot easier.
Is it?
Yeah, you just need like a what do they call it? Like a dental dam. Is that not what it's called?
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's just like a piece of plastic.
It inserts.
Well, no, there's no insert. It would just go in between them.
Oh.
Yeah, a dental dam. A thin square sheet of latex or polyurethane that acts as a barrier during oral sex. Except you would just put it in between. It would just have to be, like.
But if we have implants, like you're just
then it wouldn't matter
for fertilization, but for disease transmission, because there's chlamydia in birds,
right?
So there'd be disease transmission amongst people too. So yeah, I'm sure there's something.
Yeah,
that industry would come up with something interesting there.
I feel like that would be fine.
That'd be.
I don't think that restroom facilities would have to change much, except for there would be no urinals.
No urinals. It'd be all
sad for you guys or whatever. I wouldn't know.
I mean,
they do seem really convenient.
Well,
you'd have to sit down every time, guys. Imagine having to sit down every time.
You get to go on TikTok.
Yeah. You on TikTok every time.
Do you know how much work I get done on the toilet?
No, I actually don't know that.
I'm not going to tell you, but yeah. Oh, that's like half my emails get done there.
Oh.
So.
Cool. Well.
So, yeah, I don't think much would change in that other than like designs of bathrooms would probably be better and more equitable between males and females.
Yeah. True. Oh my God. Male bathroom lines would be just as long as female bathroom lines.
I think if males were having to deal with those bathroom lines, they would deal with the problem a lot faster.
You think they just poopy their pants? Oh.
No, they would deal with the problem.
They would change it.
Yeah.
Infrastructure. Because they'd be like, this is not acceptable.
Right.
Right.
And so I want to get into like the shared parenting because I think that's super cool.
Okay.
In a second.
Okay.
Before we get there, because we gotta go chronological order because dumb men brain. Okay. So let's say we're past the the
We've boinked.
club hookup section, and we have a mate, and we want to plan a family.
Yeah.
The implant is removed.
Yes.
And just like you do with people, you got to time it up, right, to get your most optimal things. Like I think bald eagles, they like right around that time they go at it until one of them takes. It takes a while to take, and then the egg is dropped down, and then is coated. When I mean egg, the placental egg is dropped down into the yolk. Yeah, dropped down into the cloaca and is then calcified into an egg.
Mm-hmm.
And then you pop out an egg like you've been doing once a month when you didn't have the implant. No big deal.
Yeah. But this egg is fertilized.
This egg's fertilized.
Yep.
What changes? What happens? That's crazy.
The crib is no longer a crib because you poop it out into a kiddie pool.
Okay. Kiddie pools are still here. I like it.
And you do it at home.
Yeah.
All home births.
Easy.
Lots of towels.
It's not birth. It's laying.
Only home laying.
Yeah.
And it's like a kiddie pool, and it's really comfy, cozy, and it's got towels in it, and it's not gross like birth.
Right.
Like there's not fluids everywhere and like mucus and blood and stuff. It's
way
just,
cheaper.
Yeah. It's you just lay an egg and then it's just in there.
Yeah.
And then you get your brand new incubator 5000 from the thriving incubator industry that we have running.
Yep.
And you put this light in your nursery over your nest.
Yeah.
And you let it cook.
Yeah. You got smart thermostats. You could throw a camera on it because you want to see
your
it move around
monitor,
a little bit.
Yeah.
Because they'll move in the egg.
Yeah.
Like chicks move, they chirp. Side note, something interesting is like when they come out, the only complications in birth now is like egg bound.
Right.
But like you get surgery, but like there's supplements to help with that. It's a supplemental. Most of the time it is a dietary issue.
Yeah.
With chickens and stuff like that. So you occasionally have to do that. But the egg would come out soft. So yeah, the kiddie pool is a good idea.
Right.
And then the air, you watch it harden and become this real thing. And then you put it into your incubator.
Yeah. And then for how long is it incubating?
I would say 9 months.
Okay.
Keep it the same.
Sure. All right. It incubates for 9 months. You actually have shared parental responsibility.
You got to rotate it.
You got to rotate the egg.
Candle
it.
You got to
check on it. You got to candle the egg. Make sure it's still growing.
What's candling?
Candling is when you put like a flashlight up to the egg and you see what's going on in there.
Yep. You can write on it.
Doctors would come home. Yeah, you get family members to sign the egg.
Yeah, you could.
You keep it in a baby book.
Yeah.
So like my first tooth, it's like eggshell.
Yep.
I do think that the problem for us, like one of our biggest problems when it comes to climate is the amount of people that we have.
Right.
I think that way more people would have kids if this was the case. If
Sure.
there was shared responsibility for 9 months instead of a woman having to be pregnant and like out of work and like face all these medical complications and like lose 9 months of her life to pregnancy.
Right.
And it was that
vomiting,
easy. Yeah. And you could
that.
lay one once a month too, a fertilized egg once a month.
Which
so
is
you had to wait 9 months
crazy.
for each of them to hatch.
Yep.
Like people would end up with like 10 eggs in their house.
Big families.
And they would all be, incubating at the same time. And then they would like hatch out and then we would have way more kids.
Well, here's the thing. Like if you're like a working mom or a working dad, like you could put it in a backpack, a heated backpack, and take it with you to work.
I also think, I think there'd be way more infanticide.
Right. Stuff happens.
Yes. Stuff happens. It could crack.
Right.
But I also think it would be much easier for people. This is very dark.
Oh God, you're going this route.
It's way easier for people to take out an egg than like a pregnant woman.
Right.
And I think a lot more people would do that. And I think it'd be way more common to have eggs than it is to like have babies. And so I think that they would just be like a lower value thing. And people would get mad at each other and they'd be like, frick you for cutting me in line, and then they'd like break their egg or something.
Right. Okay. That's crazy.
Maybe not that far. Maybe that it wouldn't be that mean.
I did think about like I guess offspring become less valuable, technically.
Yes.
Which is interesting.
I guess there's DNA testing once the baby's hatched, but like egg swapping?
Egg theft?
Egg
napping?
Egg trafficking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easier than with people. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's insane.
That would suck. Also, adoption would be like a whole you could adopt at like different phases of egg development.
Right. But I mean, and there could be this whole industry of childcare too now that's egg care, and you just drop it off and pick it up 9 months later.
Egg care.
Yeah. Like, you don't have to deal with it if you didn't want to. You could pay for someone else to do the whole process. Granted, it's not much. Keeping it warm, rotating it.
Dude, if you have a kid in your house and you have dogs in your house, you cannot have another egg in the house.
I mean, you just have to like build like a
Oh
crib
my,
section
egg
up and away.
fortress. Dude.
You could automate the whole process in this day and age. Now, if we're talking like back in the 18th century, like, yeah, that's, 17th century, that's way harder. There's got different systems back then, but nowadays it would be automatic. And you would get alerts when it's time to do your whole thing. But here's the thing, when you're candling it, you get to interact with it. You can see it, you can play music for it.
You can do that with a pregnant woman.
You can. It's just
You can't
easier to
see
see.
it.
It's easier to see now.
Yeah.
And you could like interact with it. Taps, you can start teaching it early.
I think that's the same as it being a pregnant woman. Like, people play like Mozart and stuff.
Yeah,
like
sure.
this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's that. The other thing I thought of was like surgeries would be so much easier on an egg because you don't have to go into a womb and do surgery. So if there were complications, you can see it happen way faster in the egg because you can candle it all the time. But then if you need to do surgery, you can, drill into it. And
is that safe?
Yeah.
Oh.
You can do it with a large egg. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. And then you have like this like egg cement that you put on afterwards. Now they don't do it for like chickens now.
Right.
But you could build special pressurized tools to go in there and keep the pressure and do the surgeries to fix things.
Okay.
So it'd be a lot easier.
Cool. I still
You're like
we're making it sound like it'd be cool and like really good and way easier. I still have no interest.
Sure. But like
in a world like this.
I think the societal shift it's interesting. So all right, so the egg makes it to 9 months. It's gonna hatch. Is there an egg tooth? What is an egg tooth?
A little notch on a bird's beak that helps them break out of the egg.
And it goes away after a day
yeah, and it
or
goes
two.
away. So yeah, sure, we have an egg tooth and it goes away.
Where do you think it is?
On our nose.
I feel like it's gonna be on our foot because that's our strongest.
Elbows.
Elbow egg tooth.
2 elbow egg tooths.
Yeah. Or in the wrists. That's not, or nails. It could be nails.
Yeah.
Or I feel like they would kick out. I feel like kicking would be easier.
Baby horse hooves?
No.
Gross.
Aren't they like
should've pulled up a
soft?
picture. Yeah, they're like feathers.
Ew.
It's nasty. So they don't cut up the mom's tract while they're getting birthed out.
Smart.
They're gross. And then they harden up. They're like slimy feather things and they harden up into real hooves.
That's cool.
I guess. But yeah, so maybe it'd be something like that, but the opposite.
And like it falls off after a few days.
And then it falls off.
Yeah, interesting. So my question would be, would there be this whole thing around, is this a strong child if it can break out of the egg within a certain time? Or would you just have people help break them out?
You would have people help 1,000%.
So it wouldn't be like this whole rite of passage.
No.
Okay. No. I feel like the machismo men would be like, my kid got out of its egg in
they would brag about it for
30
sure,
minutes.
but like people would go to great lengths to assist hatching for their eggs.
But do you give them a certain length of time, or do you just like say, all right, it's time, get them out?
Yeah, maybe the hatching party is like when people have those fancy chocolates with the little hammers for their birthday, and they all come together and they just start whacking at it.
Yeah. Okay. So
to help, and then when you turn like 13 and you're at like a family gathering and your uncle that you've never met before is like, I remember when I helped you hatch out of your egg.
Yeah, I remember that.
What about imprinting? Do they imprint? Okay, we're not birds.
I mean,
this is still a stupid baby.
But I think babies still imprint, and the human babies imprint still.
I don't imprint.
Kinda.
Human babies know who their mother is.
Yeah.
But imprinting is not the right word, right? Like they like.
I think so.
I thought there's no imprinting in mammals. We're a mammal.
Oh, okay.
Habituation.
Yeah, true.
Imprinting's just with birds. Yeah, humans do like skin to skin. There's some like chemical thing there, some like pheromone thing there.
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't think that would change if human babies were hatched out of an egg.
Interesting. Yeah, hatch parties would become a big deal, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's just like a regular thing at this point.
I think the worst case is people would get really irresponsible with it, and we'd have so many kids.
Yeah.
And like if incubators were not that expensive, which like you could do it really, really well, and you could have like all the temperature sensors and the cameras and you know whatever, or you could do it with like a heat lamp.
Yeah.
Probably.
How would you do
from,
it back in like the
Supply.
16th century, 17th century? How would people do it then?
Fire 9 months straight.
But like before fire was a thing, do you think they would just like huddle around it and like keep it warm?
Yeah, you would have an egg laying season, like a wild
Yeah,
bird,
you
right?
would,
It's like you
okay.
could not do that in the winter.
True.
In the summer, I guess, and you would have to stay there, and
Right.
you would share parental responsibility, and the man would come in and he'd watch it, and then and that takes a lot of trust. Maybe it would help our bonds because you really got to have faith in your partner.
Yeah, that's true.
You know Rias, like the ratite?
Yeah.
It's like Stompy in light mode, like the emu in light mode.
Yeah.
Males sit on eggs, and males will sit on like, what is it, like 40, up to 40 eggs at a time or something crazy.
Right.
From a bunch of different females.
That's crazy.
Look, there he is. Yeah, as many as 80 different eggs from different females for 29 to 43 days. Rias
That's insane.
will sit. Yeah, so he'll go around and he'll breed with a bunch of girls, and then they'll come to his nest and they'll lay an egg in his nest, and then he'll sit on all of them and then hatch his young.
Interesting.
What if we did it like that?
That would be that. Okay, so now
that is a whole societal shift.
Yeah, we're getting into like.
That's like women would be promiscuous and proud.
Yeah.
And men would be the ones bearing the responsibility because it's their child.
It could go that way.
That's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
You'd all just go around boinking each other. The girl would come over, lay her egg, and then she's out, dude. She's out forever. She's like, thanks, I was sick.
It'd be hard, like, if it's, it takes, probably back then, be 14 years till, like, they're out on their own or something. But, like, 18 nowadays, I mean, 18 years to raise a bunch of, you can only do that once.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
it's
that's
like a coming of age event.
It's
how you become a man. How many eggs did you hatch out?
Dude, now that we're going down this rabbit hole.
Oh my God, that's your whole body count. Sorry.
Yeah. And you're never probably doing it again because you're going to be busy with 40 kids that you're taking care of.
See, this is a terrible idea.
Unrealistic. No, now that we're like getting down into it, like I thought, this would be like a light societal shift. Like,
no.
It's just, a little bit of, new industries, more equal responsibilities. No, this is like, it could change up how humans interact as a whole, because I guess now that I think about it, like everything for the longest time was about having kids and passing stuff on. And the more kids you had, the more help you had on your farm. Free labor, basically.
I think it would do fascinating things to the patriarchy.
True.
Like, I think because it's a woman's responsibility right now to carry a child that is 9 months at a time.
Right.
Having this child inside you, feeding for yourself and the child, like taking care of yourself, not drinking, whatever, and then birthing said child.
Right.
Like, it's very easy for the dude to bounce.
Right.
Like, while you're
locked down.
Doing that, you were locked in with this child. Having an egg is so different. It would be much easier for both women and men to walk away, and much more like required for women and men to like share that responsibility.
Right. And if I was thinking about when you said like drinking and stuff like that.
Or men would do the same thing.
Well, okay.
Or they'd just be like, your egg.
Chickens, well, birds, birds of prey.
Right.
Females are larger and they tend to rule things.
Yeah.
So it just depends on how that lands. But I was thinking about, like, as you say, like drinking and stuff like that. Like, you could just, if you want to have an egg, you just like take a month off of drinking, drugs, and, eat healthy for a month. And then bam, you pop out a healthy egg, start your family, and you can.
And then put the implant back in.
And then get back to drinking and having your caffeine.
You would get plus 8 months of shenanigans.
Yeah.
Of drugs and alcohol.
Well, more than that if you're, because we're not worried about milk production. So like with milk production too.
I don't agree with that point though. I think that we said human baby hatches out like a human baby and then takes 18 months to grow up like a human baby. I think it's still a mammal.
Milk production.
It's just in an egg.
Okay, fair. So you get more shenanigans.
I refuse to regurgitate into a baby's mouth. That's disgusting.
It's baby food. You would rather them. Okay.
I don't want to do either. I don't want either of them anywhere near me.
Right.
Interesting.
No, I see why. Hank didn't go this far down the rabbit hole. It was fun, like, surface level
Top
to
level, they
medium
were just
level.
like, how big's the egg? Haha, what do we do with the eggs?
Now it's like society.
Now it's like, how does this impact the patriarchy?
Yeah.
Parental responsibility.
Bathroom designs will be better.
Bathroom designs would go crazy. Plan B would be called Plan E.
We would have probably like really no maternity or paternity leave, right? You would think.
True.
So corporations get to keep their profits, keep their employees working, save money.
No.
Yeah,
no, that's true.
Interesting.
Well,
anything else to add?
I don't want it. I would have an implant forever, but I guess that's like, I could just get my tubes tied right now. I think it would be that you would just get your tubes tied, right?
Stay on birth control?
Or that. Yeah. It's so different. With what we are right now, getting birth control is one thing, but like shedding uterine lining is just like, whatever. It's annoying, but it's fine. I'm not laying an unfertilized egg. It's just like, that sucks so bad, and I would just hate it so much.
If I had to choose 10 to 20 minutes of uncomfortableness to a whole week's worth.
Yeah, man, I would love to hear the comments sound off about, because to me, you sound like you do not know what you're talking about, because I think it would hurt way more than you think.
It's a hypothetical.
I think it would hurt way more than you think to birth an egg.
Like, I've just watched a bunch of chickens, eagles, osprey, hawks, lay an egg, and it's like totally not a big deal to them. Then again, you
don't know what it's like.
Then again, they can't show weakness.
I don't either. All right. Well, I'm not laying an egg. This episode went by, I don't know. Let us know what you guys think of this format, if you enjoyed it.
Would you lay an egg? Would you help care for an egg?
Would you like it? I don't know. Let us know. We'll see you on the next episode.
All right.
Go talk to your friends and family about this. We'd love to hear what they have to say. And check us out on Patreon. We'll see you over there. We'll see you guys on the next episode.
Goodbye.
Bye. Sorry.